Is there something that along the way that you've uncovered that you're like, wow, we never seen that was a huge issue before until you got into it, right? And then because it seems to be a mystical box, right? It almost seems like a black box when you're building it at first because it seems like everything's going all right, but in this transition, what created that hole? Where did it come from? Have you seen like a really good nugget that you said, as long as we can cover that one, we're doing significantly better on our timelines and on our delivery? Again, without sharing your secret sauce on social media. Right?
No, that's a good question. And funny enough, there isn't actually, if you think about it, there's not a whole lot of secret sauce. It's basically common sense. But fun thing about common sense is not necessarily very common.
That common, yeah.
Right? But to answer your question, so two things have come about in our recent sort of exercises, specifically from an operations readiness front, since we're talking about that particular subject. We're busy with an operations readiness exercise for a gold project in Nevada. Now, two things have come through that exercise that's become very clear. There's always a feeling that resources should be relatively easy to find. It's not, especially with large chip plants being built in southwestern USA. Access to labor, not just from a construction, fabrication, installation perspective, but also, let's say, access to good quality labor that can potentially become operators, maintenance folks, reliability engineering, and so on and so forth. They have actually become quite difficult to find, right? So the timelines associated with bringing some of these resources on board has shifted significantly over the last, let's say, 18 months. That's one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is also from a startup and commissioning perspective is that, yes, even if you had all of these access to good quality resources, the amount of time it takes to train them to a level that's would be considered appropriate and applicable to be able to hit the specific McNulty curves, as we would call it in the industry, so that you're on time, ramped up, that also has changed because mostly around the resource issue. But the most important thing that we have found through our exercise is that you need to have a core team of seasoned operators and maintenance professionals, and they have to be, and they can be, quite frankly, international, and that's a key component of what we bring to the table. We call them internally a SWAT team. What these SWAT teams will necessarily do is that you drop them in. All they've done in the last 25, 30 years is operate plants and maintain plants. Now you have a core group of, let's say, 6, 7, 10 individuals that are in there, rolled up, sleeves rolled up, working with the local teams, imparting the knowledge of the last 30 years worth of operating and maintaining processing facilities, training them hands-on, staying with the project through the startup and ramp-up. That's a missing golden nugget that unfortunately doesn't get uncovered on several projects, right? So the key, if I have to summarize, is don't underestimate the time it takes to resource your project, specifically on the O&M front. Do not underestimate the effort it takes to train them. And most definitely do not underestimate the effort it takes to bring in seasoned quality people so that they stay with your project until your ramp-up is complete. Where you make your money is your ramp-up. When your ramp-up fails, all that NPV and IRR somebody had on a piece of paper, they evaporate.